Day 1. Where to start? Well, tomorrow's going to be wonderful. We're taking a family camping trip, a much-needed time for restoration, and definitely a spot of fun. We are all packed. My backpack is crammed with all the essentials, but also includes Rose's top-of-the-line telescope and Hugo's slightly vintage fanged frisbee. Thank goodness for undetectable extension charms. What would I do without that spell? The journey starts tomorrow, but the story started about 1 year ago. Rose has been obsessed for the last year with wood nymphs, after reading a fictitious novel about a beautiful wood nymph called Isadora and her adventures within the realm of enchantment where she lives. I even read the book after repeated recommendations from Rose. As one who does not enjoy that of fiction, Rose really does bring the fun side out of me. Day 2. Scribbling this down before I fall asleep. In the early evening, we disapparated just inland from Edinburgh to a town called Greenock. To my delight, Rose and Hugo took the long-distance separation in their stride, with neither of them getting as much as a little dizzy. We set up camp, just like Grandad Weasley had done with the kids in the past. Ron did a stellar job of starting up a real muggle fire, as the kids call it, with flint. We were camped just outside the area where the wood nymphs reside. We could see in the distance another fire on the plain, which appeared to be a group of 3 teenage girls and an overwhelmed-looking father who had also set up camp. No doubt, like us, they had come to visit the wood nymphs. Greenock is a sacred haven for the wood nymphs, who continue to dwell in their quiet ancestral homes, which are the ancient trees of this Scottish plain. The wood nymphs do, however, enjoy the company of visiting witches and wizards. Close by were white mistletoe trees, which we would have to use in the morning. In the morning, we will have to combine the white mistletoe berries with gilly water. After drinking this berry combination, within a few minutes, we will be able to see the entrance of the wood nymphs' village. Ron kept the children entertained, whilst I started on dinner. Mushroom soup, freshly picked from the nearby grasslands. Day 3. It's just gone 8:30 a.m. Hugo is still soundly asleep, but as expected, Rose sits eagerly by my side, ready for the day's events to begin. A strong floral smell wafted through the trees. Even though we cannot see them yet, clearly the wood nymphs are close. Rose is practically shaking with excitement. In 30 minutes, Ron will wake up Hugo, climb the white mistletoe trees to collect the needed berries, and then we will no doubt see the wood nymphs appear. Day 4. We arrived home yesterday evening, and the children are just about back to their normal selves after an outing that left them exhausted. Yesterday, as the morning mist cleared, we woke up Hugo, had some breakfast, toast and eggs, sunny side up, and all changed into our travelling gear, which included thick robes, and just for good measure, Molly's knitted beanies. Wood nymphs are known to be quite cold in temperature, and therefore make the air around them cold. As we stood around the ash of last night's campfire, waiting for the final moments before the mistletoe berry drink took effect, I realized I didn't know what to do next. But before I could fully form the thought, a light rose up from the grasslands, and a door beautifully made of tree vines began to form before us. A tremendously gorgeous female wood nymph stood at the door that divided our realm from theirs. Looking at us directly, she beckoned us in. Her red hair was just like Rose's. Her encouraging whisper of "come" could almost be mistaken as the wind if you weren't listening. Rose raced ahead. delight etched in every part of her expressions. As we walked in through the materialized vine door, we saw their beautiful haven. 60 or more wood nymphs were scattered around their tree village. Creaky noises emanated from the ageless trees as the wind danced amongst the branches. Everywhere you looked was bursting with the natural green lushness of their forest haven. They had used the hues of natural paints to canvas beautiful constellations and pictures of other magical creatures on the outside of their tree homes. A flock of golden snidgets sat across some nearby branches. This is the bird that was originally used in Quidditch before the snitch was invented. These birds too appeared to find safety here in this secret tree village haven. In a part of the village, we saw the group of 3 teenage girls and their now not so overwhelmed looking father. The gentleman appeared to be truly enjoying a kaleidoscope of luminescent butterflies that he was walking amongst. Ron spent his time with a mischievous young male wood nymph who was able to conjure lights akin to fireworks from his fingertips. The wood nymphs were truly visions of beauty. They shared with us a treacle from their trees. Their village, a labyrinth of unimpeded secrecy, sparkled, as if sunlight was bouncing off every surface. In the afternoon, we dipped our feet into their lake and sat up on the bank while some of the wood nymphs danced their traditional celestial dances, filled with twirls and pirouettes. As the wood nymphs danced, clusters of light sparkles trailed behind them. To Hugo's delight, we even met the wood nymph's leader, a portly-looking nymph who was draped in a cape of dark flowers that gave the impression of a draped velvety cloak. As evening began to fall, the wood nymphs encouraged a bed of purple flowers to sing, communicating to the flowers in a language known to them, sounding like gentle bells. The flowers' musical orchestration was just simply an acoustic symphony of delight. Our time with the wood nymphs was truly a breathtaking inundation of ethereal wonders. From her bedroom doorway, I watched Rose fall asleep under the warmth of her bed covers. Ron came up behind me and took my hand, and for a few moments we waltzed in the shadows, delighted by the joyously magical day we had with our children. Hermione Granger-Weasley.